Hello again, and thank you for joining me. My name is Applied Knowledge. You can follow me at all my social media down in the description below, and I'm also going to be leaving some other things in the description below for you as well. I will be taking looks down from time to time because I did write notes, and yeah, so I haven't gotten great with speaking yet, so hopefully that'll come in time. But today I want to talk to you about your journey to your dreams, and just by my own experiences, you can be sure that you will reach your destination if you're willing to make the adjustments you need to make to get there. Um, and I'm going to give you a few tips that I personally use that's worked for me, and those are the tips that I'll be leaving down in the description for you to look at. So one is be open-minded, and this makes learning a whole lot easier in itself. Um, and you're guaranteed to find something that you can use to your benefit. Two, treat people how you would like to be treated. So that is self-explanatory. If you treat people like trash, you're probably going to get treated like trash at some point. Karma, about 99.9% of the time, comes back around at some point in your life. Three, do good work, especially if you're working for someone else. It really shows that person that you care about um, their their success. And if you care about their success, the favor will definitely be returned to you. So always do good work. Uh, Four, try your best to remain intact under pressure. Very difficult, but I believe this is the greatest moments in your life is when you're under so much pressure and you're getting ready to break. But if you can just remain calm, do the best that you can, there is something right around the corner for you. And I kid you not, it's been every time just in my own personal life. Um, and number five, network. So I believe this is the most important of them all. Most important of them all. So expose yourself and your work to as many people as possible. And so tell people what you want to do in life, and where you want to get to, because everybody knows somebody. And that's what business is. Business is people. We create opportunities for each other. Um, and yeah, so those are my 5 tips on uh, from me to you, and maybe you can use those, maybe you can't, but I encourage you to take whatever is useful and make it into your own formula for so it can work for you. All right, so everybody in life finds themselves in a place that they don't necessarily want to be, and it happens to everybody. It's okay, it's life. But it's how you choose to look at it is what counts. And maybe it's a job, a relationship, whatever. One thing that has worked for me until this very day has been seeing what opportunities benefit me and where I want to go. And it's added to my skill set each time. I've recognized it, and what it is that I can take away from that place that I don't necessarily want to be in. It for me, it was not always about the money, and there were some things that I had done that money was definitely not great, but I learned so much just from working at that place that I did not want to work at. And just to for an example, I did a show. It was a musical. I can't tell you how much I cannot stand theater and musicals and stuff like that, but wonderful learning curve. And I took away so many different techniques that I didn't necessarily understand, even as an engineer, because that's what I study, that I now use for myself doing my own productions and studio recording sessions. So it's things like that that I tried to take away from. And it's very difficult to do that sometimes because, you're locked into, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And you that's how I believe that we as human beings, we miss what's truly might be hiding down in the dirt, in that rubble, and the rubble is the place that you want to be, but there's something in there, but you're not, that's what you're not focused on, so you end up missing it. And yeah, so it's things like that that you should be aware of and that you should want to seek. And for another example, maybe your goal is to spend more time with your kids, but you just got fired from your job that paid well with benefits, um, and now you don't know how you're going to provide for them anymore. Um, but then you realize, later on how your kids were doing in school. They weren't doing so great. The grades were dropping. They were getting in trouble. The teachers were calling you, try to set up meetings, but you couldn't make it. But now that you've lost that job, you now have the time to help them and sit down and guide them and counsel them the way you should as a parent. And that's something that you should be proud of. Um, so my thing is never think that just because you're in a place that you don't like, that it's permanent. It's never permanent. Uh, Maybe life is just helping you to make the adjustments that you asked for, and that might have been 10, 15 years ago, and it's just now happening. You know what I'm saying? So, and you'll always make a comeback if you don't give up. So don't give up. That's the big thing. Um, And going back to that scenario, maybe you did such a good job with your kids that they made so much improvement that, one of the teachers ended up calling you and saying, hey, I think you would be a great asset to this school. You should go apply for the job here and use me as a reference. And so say you did it. Now you end up getting a job. So you've um, now you get to spend more time with your kids and you get to help someone else's kids. So now it's like you're receiving so much more praise. You know what I'm saying? So it's the things like that, that you gotta try to make yourself aware of. And really all I'm saying is, see what you can take out a store that you don't really necessarily like shopping in, if that makes sense. And come up with your own formulas and um, techniques on for your growth and development. And one thing I stress is love learning about anything, and that's goes along with being open-minded. I believe that helps so much of for you and where you want to get in life. Um, and if you're a music producer, you are a businessman. And just because you might have a job somewhere else, like Starbucks, Domino's, doesn't mean you can't take something away from those jobs either. Um, I try to tell people, especially my little brother, he wants to go into doing things and uh, with gaming, and he's kind of stressed out that, you know, uh, he was working at Arby's, where I'm like, bro, you gotta look at the fact that, you're learning customer service, you know what I'm saying, and business transactions, and you get to see how receiving works and things like that. All those things matter and they come into play with business because you are going to be a business. And if you want to run a bigger business, these are things that you should and want to know, and have a little bit of knowledge. And you might not necessarily work in it yourself, but you know how it works. And um like I said, the more um, skills that you have, the more opportunities and doors that can be open to you. And but that's only if you believe in that. That's when it'll serve you. If you don't believe in it, then it's not gonna work. Um, so yeah, that's really my message today. I hope that it helped. Just try to look at um, what you can take away from the places that you don't necessarily like being in. There's always, I guarantee it, there's always going to be something that you can take away. It can be whatever. I don't really have any examples, but it can be whatever. Just try to rewire your mind and thinking like, okay, even though I'm in this place, I can't stand being here. What can I take away from it? And that right there might even be the key. Just even taking the time to think like, all right, I know I don't want to be here. So maybe it's time for me to rewrite my goals or rethink my goals. You know what I'm saying? So that can be the blessing in itself right there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're just tired of being at that place. Well, all right, maybe it's time for me to just rethink of what I want to do. And it can be applied to anything. It can be applied to jobs, relationships, you know, family life, anything, finances, whatever it is. It can be applied to anything. It's just, are you willing to make the adjustments and to learn more and be open-minded and take advice from others? So I hope that helped. Once again, I'm Applied Knowledge, and please subscribe to this channel because I will be doing more videos. And yeah, just link with me on social media. If you have any questions, please drop a comment, or you can email me at the email in the description below.